Well, welcome back, everybody, to another very exciting trading battle. Of course, this is not our first time around anymore. We've got a couple of these under our belt. We're back on the horse here for another one today with your very own Etienne Crete and Blake Morrow. We're going to be going head-to-head and trading what is to be probably the most heavily anticipated Fed meeting of the year. Today, we are expecting a rate cut from the Fed, which is the first time in some time. We've had, I think, about, 9 months, 10 months since the last cut from the Federal Reserve, since they've gone on pause. And so markets are heavily anticipating not just rate cuts, but volatility. And so during this time, we are going to be trading it live, as crazy as that sounds, with two veteran experienced traders, and of course, myself to host the whole thing. But before we get into that, let me just thank today's sponsor really quick, which is, of course, DNA Funded. And for those of you guys who are here live, we got something cool for you. We are going to be giving away 4, not 1, not 2, not even 3. We're going to be giving away 4 DNA Funded challenges in this stream. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be trading the battle here, of course, live and commenting on what is happening in the markets. Without further ado, like I said, stick around. Sponsor today. Big shout out to them. DNA Funded. We're going to be giving away some challenges. So stay tuned on that. But first, I think it's time we introduce our first contestant. All right, so there you go. We've got Etienne and Blake. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. First, we can say, we'll say welcome back to Blake. Blake, how's it going, man? If you want to just give a quick introduction and say hello, we'll pop you in.
Sure thing. Hey, nice to be back, and nice to be able to meet and trade with Etienne for the first time. My name is Blake Morrow. I'm the founder of Forex Analytics, and I think this is probably my 5th or 6th time around on the trading battle. So I'm excited to be here. I even brought my gloves to battle it out with you guys. So good to be here.
It's I've got some of those same gloves, which is awesome. And bringing back into the mix, we have, of course, Etienne Crete. Etienne, how you doing, man? Welcome to the trading battle.
Yeah, good. Happy to be back. Pleasure to be here again. I think my 3rd time on the battle, so it's going to be fun as always. First time with Blake too, from currently in Canada. It's going to be a lot of fun to trade from the announcement today.
Yes, it should be very volatile. So I guess jumping right into some charts here, Blake, if you want to share your chart before we get into our challenges here for today, I'd love to just get your thoughts, big picture, on what you're looking for going into today's Fed meeting.
Big picture. All right. Well, so I'm just showing the euro as it is right now, but it's really my focus is going to be on several different charts. The market's coming in with some pretty hefty expectations to get 25 basis point rate cut, but it's the entrance of Stephen Moran into the FOMC, still keeping Lisa Cook around. We're looking at least 2 other dissenters aside from Stephen Moran to possibly cut rates 50 basis points. I don't think the Fed's going to be that aggressive. The market does hold out hopes that there's going to be a few dissenters out there that they're going to be looking for 50 basis points of cut. It's where we price, where we price the markets moving forward. And right now, we're looking at about 70 basis points. Well, actually, it's about 80 basis points being cut, or no, there it is, 70 basis points being cut over the course of the next few meetings, between this month, October and December. And I think a lot of it, though, is going to be where Fed Chair Powell frames the market and where he frames things come the press conference. We're also going to be getting the dot plots and the SEP2, which is going to be a possible mover right at the statement. So we might get some knee-jerk reactions. But really, one of the things that's been overlooked by the markets for good reason is correlations. And correlations have not been too strong as of late. But today specifically, I'm going to be looking at a few things. I'm going to be focused a lot on gold. The reason why gold, you can't find a bear out there. There's no reason to be bearish gold, but the market's extremely bullish and heavily long gold. So the positioning is a little out of whack going into this meeting. So any type of hawkish surprise, especially commentary, maybe some of the votes, maybe some of the dot plot situation could really have gold pull back. Therefore, the dollar is going to strengthen. And also at the same time, we probably see equities come under a little bit of pressure too. So I'm going to be focusing not only on what's happening with the dollar. I'm going to be focusing on what's happening with gold, what's happening with equities. I'm going to be looking at the 10-year as well. All of those are going to give me clues on how much, I don't want to say confidence, but how aggressive I want to be today is going to really heavily depend on what I'm seeing in some of the peripheral markets.
Sure. Thanks for that, Blake. And again, I think you make a good point. We're going into a Fed meeting with stocks at their all-time highs, as well as gold. So very, very interesting setup. Etienne, same thing to you. Just give us a little bit of an overview. What are your thoughts going into this meeting?
Yeah, I'm not very much a fundamental trader. I usually base all my style on technicals only. So today I'm really looking at like the reaction on the Fed, what the market will do afterward. Primarily, like I'm mostly a swing trader, so I'm looking at like longer term moves sometimes, and these bigger picture moves. Today I'm really kind of zoning back to the 15-minute chart on these shorter time frames. Looking of course at gold also, like Blake mentioned. Bitcoin's gonna be interesting to see what happens there too, if the market will react strongly or not. And the other pair as usual, also the Euro pair, the USD, Japanese yen. I'm looking at it also a little bit. It's gonna be fun to see how the market reacts to it. And I think it's gonna be pretty strong, but we'll see how this goes.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, guys, we are counting down the minutes here until that event gets going. So I think it'll also be interesting to think that we have someone who's definitely more kind of involved in the fundamental side, yourself, Blake, and then Etienne going pure technical. So I think that combination will make it very interesting for the viewers as well. Okay, so for the viewers, by the way, real quick, before we get into our first prompt here of the day, I just wanted to, I mentioned it at the top, we promised you DNA Funded is coming through for you guys. We are going to be giving away our first coupon here to a DNA Funded, I believe it is a 5K account here, which the information is going to be dropped in the chat, and maybe we can also pop open the QR code here on the screen. There it is. Activate your DNA Funded coupon. So take advantage. Whoever gets it, gets it. So take advantage. We'll drop the link and details here in the chat. And then maybe we can go ahead. There it is. Boom. Grab that code. It is in the chat. Boom. Whoever gets it, gets it. All right, guys. And then now we're going to go ahead and roll our first prompt, our first challenge for today's battle. So we're trading the dollar, and Etienne, you were just there looking at some 15-minute charts of euro dollar, pound dollar, etc. So maybe we can go to you on this. You've got the charts here. First challenge is to place a trade on the dollar, specifically with euro dollar or pound dollar. Take it away, wherever you want to go with it.
Yeah, I was looking at the two pairs, so Euro USD and GBP USD. Let's start with Euro USD for me. It's kind of looking uptrend, like very well. It's kind of looking good. Price is kind of pulling back a little bit, but I do like a little bit more what we have on the pound USD. So I'm going to go to this for now. And what I'm seeing is we have a bit more momentum. Kind of just, the price started to pull back, but started to rush back up again after. So that to me looks better for a long trade. So I'm actually going to go long GBP USD. Not a typical setup I would take, but we have on my chart here is a whole moving average, so HMA. I'm confirming this too with the longer picture. HMA is also the bottom. So that tells me that the price is going up. It's going in a strong trend to the upside. And price pull back. We're starting to kind of see the momentum going back up a little bit. I mean, the Fed could reverse this completely, but I'm still going to be long, and I'm going to stick to that trade for now. So I'm going to go long. Maybe put a stop loss below over here, and try to ride the trend up if it continues that way. So
love it. So
reversible trade, I'll put it right there.
Yeah, go for it. So as you punch in that trade, we'll go over to Blake with the same challenge. Etienne's going short the dollar via his long position on pound USD. Blake, what about yourself? What are we thinking here?
Wow, I'm kind of glad he did that, because I'm actually going to take the other side of that trade. Now, here's the reason why, and it's not necessarily because I think the dollar is going to strengthen or weaken, but if I'm forced to take a trade, one of the things that I always look at is I look at cross rates, and the euro sterling is one of the top 5 most liquid currencies in the FX market. And if you guys can't tell, we have like a nice bullish, consolidation in the euro sterling. It's pushing right up against resistance. That means the sterling's on edge. I think the sterling's been actually drug higher by this breakout in the euro. You can clearly see it when the euro is breaking out to the upside. Sterling is lagging, and one of the reasons, well, there's plenty of reasons why sterling is lagging. There's a lot of fundamental reasons wrong with sterling itself. I believe it's above 136. You should probably err to the caution, approach it a little bit cautiously, trying to be on the short side. But since this is a challenge, and I think that the dollar is going to be bought, and for a lot of different reasons today. And if you guys don't know harmonic patterns, big Gartley pattern setup in the euro up at these levels, dollar index is at a very, very long-term 14-year trend line. I'm going to trade against that. That means I am going to be long dollars, short sterling on this breakout. Now, what I want to do, and hopefully by the end of this battle, is I want to be adding to my short. So I'm going to be on the short side of sterling. I'm gonna start off a trade here, but I'm gonna be adding on a breakdown. So get myself in a little bit, be short a little bit more on a breakdown, and then I'm gonna keep my stops above this 88% retracement, because I don't want it getting above that, because if it gets above that, it's probably gonna be attacking all-time highs. Euro is probably gonna be on its way to 120, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna be stepping into the sells on the short side of sterling, and I'm gonna start my position off today.
Okay, awesome. And then also, Blake, not to rush you whenever you're done with your trade, but I would love to see your breakdown. You mentioned the long-term dollar support on a longer-term basis. I know that's been a chart floating around. If you want to just show that, I'm just curious.
Sure, I'll show really quick, and then this is an end of day dollar index. This is the actual dollar index that comes out of the CME or ICE data, and it's end of day data. So just realize that we're basically pivoting off this today. This is your long-term, 2011 14-year chart, and this is the trend line. This is the trend line. Today is very pivotal in today, because the dollar is either going to get broken and it's going to really break down, or we're going to see a really hardcore bounce off of these levels. So when you're sitting on such a long-term trend line, I've got to be respectful of it. That's why I'm going to be fading any dollar bearishness right at this moment. And see, you made me do this and talk about it, and I already lost out 5 pips. So now I'm irritated, Nick. Thank you very much.
Look, I was just trying to help out my friend Etienne. Okay, I'm on his team. Just kidding. Yeah, no. So okay. So you guys interestingly found each other on the opposite end of the trade. One long, one short pound dollar. So Etienne, we heard kind of a bigger picture framework for Blake's thought process. Do you use the dollar index in your analysis at all, like with trading pound dollar on side, which is sort of a proxy bias?
You're breaking up a bit here with the voice, but I think what I heard well is the kind of bigger perspective on things, the bigger picture. I don't use any kind of dollar index. What I use is bigger time frames. So what I would typically do is I will go on the higher time frame, especially now on this trade. I will go on like a daily chart to have a bigger perspective on things. I also like the weekly chart, which is a much higher perspective too. But what I'm doing here is I'm basically looking at these levels for sure. But I'm looking also at the momentum. So how is the price moving? So one tool I like to use is the Hall moving average, and that gives me an idea of how the trend is going overall. So you can see on the weekly chart it's definitely going up. The Hall is green at the bottom here. On the daily chart we have a little bit of a pullback that kind of started, but price is very well recovering. So that means that for me, going long in that kind of market makes sense, because the longer term picture is definitely to the upside, and we kind of have a pullback, which is a good place to go long and to kind of ride the momentum going upward from there. So these time frames for me work well. Daily and weekly charts. I know we're kind of much more shorter time frame now in this challenge, but the longer term picture kind of matches the trade I'm taking also. So it's kind of what I'm looking at in that case.
Awesome. Very cool. And again, sorry for the audio breakup, guys. I'm trying to fix it on my side here as we stream. But next up, we're going to go ahead and jump into our next segment here, our next prompt. Before I do that, hopefully you can hear me through this, but we are going to be giving away now a 10K challenge here for DNA Funded. This is our next wave here. So if you're interested in that, here is the coupon. We're going to drop it here in the chat. And we are upping the ante. So we did a 5K, now a 10K. It is first come, first serve. So take advantage, scan the QR code. That is available to the first come, first serve person who grabs it. And we can also go ahead and roll our next prompt here. All right, so there you go. Wall Street versus Tech Titans, which leads the Fed. Actually, an interesting day today. We had Dow up, Nas down for, I think it's still the case. But last time Etienne went first, so maybe we can go throw it to Blake. What are your thoughts here?
Well, shorting as the Fed is actually starting to cut rates is a little bit dangerous at this point in time. But I do want to show you guys a chart that's kind of popped up on my screen today. So this is the Dow, and we're talking about where the leadership has been. The thing about the Dow is right up against what I would call ascending wedge resistance. If you look at the daily chart, you just go like that, and then you take a look at the lower trend line, you're like that. Now we're obviously in breakout territory, right? So at this point, do I feel that the markets are going to continue higher? I'm a little nervous that if the Fed now there's a old school there's a couple of chains of thought here. When the Fed cuts rates, they usually cut rates because they're trying to curb a slower growth, and in this case, everybody's worried that jobs market's weakening. The flip side is the stock market is at all-time highs, and they're cutting into us being at all-time highs, which tends to be a tailwind. But I think the initial response, because of A, seasonality, B, because they're cutting rates, there might be a spike higher in equities right at soon as the Fed cuts rates. But I believe that we fade that. So I'm not going to sell the Dow here. I'm going to sell it right after the interest rate decision in about 10, 15 minutes or so from now. I'm going to be getting short, but I'm going to get short the Dow, being that it's in an ascending wedge, which is a bearish setup by default. And also, I'm just not really bearish on the tech side of things. So I think if there's going to be an outperforming market, it is going to be in the NASDAQ. And you can, obviously clearly see with the moves that we've seen in the NASDAQ. But I do want to fade. I do want to fade the market right after the interest rate decision, and I'm going to be fading the Dow. So there you go.
Okay, there you go. Getting bearish on the Dow. Etienne, same question to you.
Yeah, I do agree with Blake on this quite a lot. It's the market now is very extended, so we'll be kind of clueless to go long and to try to ride the upside. I think it's not going to go. It might go up a little bit more eventually, but I think right now it's a bit too uncertain to do that. I will go short too. I will go short on the NASDAQ. We can see kind of both the Dow and the NASDAQ are kind of doing something similar. So the Dow is kind of going up. You can see it's very overextended. If I drop this back down.
Oh, Etienne, I think you might have muted yourself on accident. There's a mute button.
Weird. Can you hear me fine?
You go. You're good.
Sounds good. Awesome. So as I was saying, kind of now we have the Dow that's kind of pulling back. I wouldn't want to go short on that because we don't really have a lot of confidence that it's going to go down eventually more than that. It's kind of more pullback. The NASDAQ though is kind of a bit more weak in my opinion. So we can see that price has been starting to pull back and now it's actually doing a little bit of a downtrend here. So I prefer to go short on the NASDAQ instead and try to ride. I wouldn't want to be short for, let's say, a long time. I would prefer to maybe hold this trade for maybe a couple of hours. We'll see how price reacts more. But I'm going to go and put a short now and try to ride the downtrend for the NASDAQ.
There you go. So that is sort of, although you guys are trading in the same direction, it also matters, position sizing and, of course, which one of the two. We know the Dow Jones tends to move a little bit less, but because we're trading on a CFD platform, the Dow, because of the contract size, can be very, very volatile. So both very much have the potential to cause some big swings. I guess, Blake, also in terms of indices, you mentioned your preference towards tech. What are your thoughts, just bigger picture, on the stock market and risk assets, whether it be, crypto or stocks in general? Do you think that this rate cut sends us higher, or do you think this could mark a short-term top?
Like I said earlier, I believe this marks a short-term top. There's a few things working against the market right now. Is the Fed is cutting. Now, if it was a preemptive cut, which would have been the case a couple of months or a couple of meetings ago, then I think the market would have been goosed, being gone higher on some of a preemptive type of cut. But because they're cutting in the face of the labor market really showing signs of weakness, this is where the economist school of thought would be, hey, as the Fed is actually cutting rates, it's because the economy is slowing down. They're trying to curb that. And so as a result, I believe near term, stocks are probably like today could put in a near term top, maybe for the next couple of months before we hit the Santa Claus rally. I know a lot of people like to call it Santa Claus rally, the end of the year rally. So I think this, sometime around today, if not today, tomorrow, we're going to be seeing the sell the rumor type of sell the news type of event. So that's why being short in equities, at least in the very near term, is going to be my play.
Okay, fair enough. And I guess, Etienne, same thing. You kind of mentioned stocks looking stretched. What are more of your thoughts, bigger picture, or just specifically both short-term and long-term on them?
And it's very hard to know when it's going to stop and when prices actually reverse in stocks. I think it could probably go even higher, even more than that. So like looking at these bigger time frames, I'm kind of looking at these overextensions from the hold that I have on my chart. So price is really looking up. Look like it could maybe pull back a bit more and go up higher even after that. How much, I don't know. It's going to be very tough, but I think it's going to reverse at some point. We just don't know when, and it's just a matter of kind of trying to keep the risk small and kind of maybe going short once in a while on pullbacks and kind of trying to go long when it goes back up again and kind of maintaining that order long term.
There you go. Yep. Fair enough. Well, guys, we are about 8 minutes to go until we get the rate cut decision. Very likely to be a 25 basis point cut, but we'll see if there's any surprises. Before we get into our third challenge, let's go ahead and roll our next one here, or at least our next giveaway. We're giving away DNA funded accounts here today. The next one is a 25K funded one-phase challenge. And here is your chance to grab it. We'll be dropping the information in the chat. It is first come, first serve. QR code on the screen to grab it. And there you go. Good luck. Hopefully you get it. And now we can go ahead and roll prompt number 3. So probably my favorite of the challenges here. We're going gold versus Bitcoin. Back over to Etienne first here this time. Gold versus Bitcoin. Choose one. Choose long or short. What are your thoughts, Etienne?
It's going to be a tricky one. I think gold is trending really well on the upside, and I wouldn't want to go short on gold. I wouldn't want to go long either because it's kind of also overextended, and I don't think it's going to go much higher for now on the short term. So I'm looking a little bit more at Bitcoin, perhaps. Bitcoin to me is also trending up, but kind of pulling back more recently. I would prefer to try to go long Bitcoin, even though we don't know exactly what the reaction will be. But to me, that sounds like a better play. Bitcoin is much more kind of moderately priced, going up in a medium uptrend. So that makes more sense to me. And we're just kind of on the weekly chart here going below the hull, which is a good place to usually buy on Bitcoin. So that means I will want to go long and try to ride the move from the Fed if it moves up after.
Okay, fair enough. We'll give you a chance to set up your trades however you like them, and we'll go over same question to Blake here. Gold versus Bitcoin. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't have an argument to be short gold, and I always like to have a grit. I've been trading now. The first time I stepped on a trade desk was in 1996. So I'm going on almost 30 years of being in the markets and trading. And I have a really good understanding of why I do what I do. what I do understand right now is I don't have an argument to be short gold. So I agree with Etienne. It's like, man, it's so strong. I want to be short gold, and I think it's actually going to reverse today of all days. But that doesn't mean just because I think that I need to be trading that. I will also echo what Etienne said, is that I think Bitcoin is really underperforming. However, what I do want to do is I actually want to be short Bitcoin, just because I know we're at a like probably a more of a cycle high on Bitcoin, but I do want to be on the short side. I don't believe in, I'm not one of those people that believes Bitcoin's going to zero, or there's no use case for it, or I don't have a lot of beliefs. I just look at it from as far as Bitcoin goes, but I look at it from a trading vehicle standpoint, and it has stalled. And I think the market is extremely long Bitcoin. And positioning is going to play a factor in this. Do I think we make our move back down to 100,000 and maybe down to the 200 DMA? That's kind of what I'm thinking. We'd get really lucky if it made it all the way back to 75,000 over time. Like when I say over time, I should probably reiterate that, or explain what I mean by that. Do I think we're going to make it back to 75,000, like the big breakout point? In the months ahead, it's possible, and I think we'd be really lucky to see it. So me personally, I'm going to play Bitcoin on the short side. This is also going to be a post FOMC decision for me. I will trade it. I'm going to be on the short side. I'm just going to look for a place to do it. Whether I have to short into weakness, I don't mind selling into the hole in a situation like this, and it gets below the 50 DMA, and then then it's open season for me to be on the short side.
Okay, and really quick, in the chat, we're seeing some people sending messages mentioning that they're having issues with the coupon codes. We'll work on it. Don't worry. I am not the trading battle or DNA funded, so I'm hosting this event. But the managers, the staff behind the scenes are in the chat right now. So look for the trading battle. They can help to coordinate. Their comments will help you out with that. They're working on that right now. So if there's any issues, technical side, they'll get that resolved. I want to throw it back over to Etienne really quick. In terms of Bitcoin versus gold, this was a previous debate that we had on the trading battle. I hosted an event between two participants. Bitcoin versus gold for the longer term. Which one would you prefer if you had to hold it for the next 5 years? I'm just curious.
I would probably go on gold. I think Bitcoin has a lot of ups and downs, and I wouldn't want to be kind of keeping Bitcoin for the long term. Maybe on a very small scale, a very small size per house, but I do like how golds kind of tend to react better when the market crashes. And we've seen Bitcoin not hold too much value when the stock market crash, and expecting a crash in the stock market, I would try to go for gold long term. Okay,
fair enough. Blake, are you the same or different?
I'm very much a gold bull longer term. I've been buying it since it was 1800, and I maintain, like being long. It doesn't mean I trade it all the time, but I think gold is extremely bullish. Sorry, I was just setting up my trades here. I still think gold is very bullish, and I'm just looking for dips to buy. The scary thing about gold, though, is if we get below 3,500, I think that's where you can start to see a shakeout. And so, late longs end up getting wiped out a little bit. And you've got to be, if you're a gold bull longer term, and there's all sorts of reasons to be on the long side of gold, so a litany of them. But you just got to find that place to do it. And my personal opinion is, from a tactical point of view, is below 3,500. I'll just start looking for places, and I'm not, and it's hard to make judgment and figure out where that's going to be at from a Fibonacci standpoint, because I don't even know if we've reached our near-term highs yet. So anyway, long answer. Long answer. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I guess last question here for you guys. Actually, we've got just about a minute to go, so let's go ahead and just do a quick pulse check, and then we'll come back to that. If you guys want to just show really quick your current positions that you have open going into the data drop. Blake, if you want to just show yours here, you got the stream.
Yeah. I'm just short sterling right now. Okay. 2 lots short sterling, and I guess I'm going to be holding that through FOMC.
Okay, awesome. And Etienne, if you want to, we'll switch over to you.
Yeah, so I have long Bitcoin, short NASDAQ, and long pound USD.
Perfect. Okay. And guys, we're just about 1 minute away from the rate decision here. Of course, please note that at the 30-minute past mark, that's when we'll we'll hear the press conference, which is likely to be very volatile. And these positions will be held, I think we're due until the end of the week, right? I believe that is the correct duration of the battle. Towards the end of the week, we'll see who the winner is. Whoever's P&L hits the highest or does better in all this chaos that we're throwing you guys into. Question I had before we move on to our next challenge, and we are going to be giving away a fourth and final 25K instant funding account here in the chat. So stay tuned on that, but we'll do that in just a moment. Before we do that, in terms of, both of you guys chose gold. Are you bearish on Bitcoin, or do you have a negative outlook on Bitcoin? Etienne, what are your thoughts on specifically Bitcoin longer term?
I think Bitcoin is just more volatile, and there could be more drops if the stock market crashes. So gold is more likely to, I think, hold value when the stock market crashes or when it kind of pulls back. And Bitcoin might be kind of up and down or a bit more down overall, I think. But not totally bearish on it.
Okay, fair enough. Blake, what about yourself?
I am more bearish on Bitcoin overall. And by the way, the Fed just cut by 25 basis points. And we've seen the euro just scream up towards 119. And I'm going to be looking to be on the short side of this one. So just so you guys know.
Yeah, and if you want to throw in another trade, Blake, there's no rule against it. If either one of you guys have more trades that you want to place, as we do see markets making moves here in the meantime, maybe we can go ahead and give away that giveaway challenge for everybody who's in the chat. Be on your feet. Here it comes. We're going to give away a final 25K instant funding challenge. Link is on the screen, and the promo code will be dropped in just a second in the live stream chat. It is first come, first serve. Whoever gets it, gets it. And up next, we're going to be going through our next challenge. Check it out. All right, so there you go, the ambush round. This one's always fun. Essentially, you choose what your opponent trades. So I'll leave this one up. We'll have a gentleman's agreement. Who wants to? Either one of you guys can choose to choose first for the other person, and I'll leave it up to you guys.
Oh man, Etienne, you want to go ahead and go first?
Sure. Happy to do that. I'm going to go and pick one that you might not like, might be a bit volatile in these current conditions. I'm going to go with the USD Mexican pesos. Not one I like to trade too much, but during election time, it's definitely a little bit volatile. So I want to see how you will react to it. It's going to be probably maybe trending, maybe kind of going sideways. So I want to see how you're going to play either side on the pesos.
Sounds good. I'm going long right now, buddy. So thank you very much for
awesome.
for bringing my favorite currency pair to that. So yeah, I'm gonna. Whoops. Oh shoot, I went way too many lots here. So I'm gonna go long dollar mex right now, and then I'm gonna have to put in my stops after the fact. But I love it. I love dollar mex down here. The reason why, and let me tell you the reason why, is we have 161% extension. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, we have 161% extension and a long-term 618 retracement right at these levels that are coming up right around the 1819 level. And let me go over to the daily chart and set that up from a longer-term point of view. This is a Fibonacci, what I like to call Fibonacci confluence. So I was just waiting for it to get down here towards 1820. So we're getting real close. We're at 1822. And like I said, these are the levels that I wanted to be on the long side.
So there you go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so throw it back now. What's Etienne trading?
Well, you know what? He was talking about the dollar yen earlier, but here's the thing: is I think the yen is a very difficult trade to be thinking about right now. So I'm going to give you a cross rate. I think you should trade the sterling yen. I think the sterling yen or the guppy is one that is going to be a little bit more difficult to navigate in today's market.
Sounds good. So yeah, pulling this up right now on the charts. Yeah, I'm probably gonna want to go long on that. I think there's more potential in the upside here. I don't think it's gonna go down further that much based on the longer term trends. So I'm gonna go long on the. It's gonna be a tough one, but I'm gonna go long on this one. JPY.
All right.
Okay. Long pound yen, long dollar Mexican peso. We've got all sorts of trades flying out here today, which is great. And just a reminder, we've got about 25 minutes here to go before the press conference gets started with Jerome Powell set to speak. That is likely, guys, in the audience, that is likely what's going to move markets big time today is the forward-looking guidance from the Fed. So I guess we could do a quick pulse check here. Blake, if you want to go first in terms of your open positions so far here in this battle.
Yeah, I took the sterling on the short side, and it's obviously I mispriced the this is not the same as my trading account. So 20 lots over here should have been 2 lots. So my position's a little bit more aggressive. I don't mind still being short sterling, though, at this point in time. But yeah, that's not normally my sizing. I would have it a much smaller position. I did get short a little bit of Bitcoin, and I did apparently got short some Dow as well on that spike up because I did put in an order to get short. So that's where I'm at right now, and that big sterling loss should be a lot smaller than that if my sizing was correct, but is not correct right now.
Live stream trading adds a whole new level of multitasking challenges. So it's understandable.
It does, especially when you trade U.S. brokers and our sizing is a little bit different, So I'm like, oh crap, I took a big position there, So a little bit bigger than normal.
Yep, it's all good. Okay, well, there's an update so far, and again, anything can change in the next hour. I mean, these markets are going to be crazy. Etienne, same question to you. If you want to just show off where you're at in terms of current positions, and if there's anything else that you want to add to your portfolio, feel free to do it.
Yeah, I've got my 4 trades open now. The JPY is the newest one, which is kind of not doing much for now. But otherwise, the Bitcoin is up a little bit, actually more like break even now, changing back. And NASDAQ is in a bit of a loss, but not too big. And then the JPUC is really going well on the long side.
Okay. And I had another question for you guys, or specifically Blake on this one. Blake, you mentioned that if the euro, or specifically the pound, were to continue to shoot off in the direction that it's headed, obviously this is for the battle, but just you mentioned briefly that you thought that was an opportunity to potentially fade that. How would you play that, on a personal account or in the battle in the next few days? What's your bias there?
Well, as far as the sterling goes, like I said, I think it's being dragged higher by just dollar weakness as a whole. So as long as the euro continues to trek up towards this 119.50 level, which, by the way, I should probably show you. This is the chart overall where I think that that everybody should be focused on. Let me go ahead and just. I'm going to zoom out here to a longer term chart. This is actually what I call a Gartley pattern. So a 119.50 or so is about the level that it should extend to, which will be right up here around the 88% retracement. And that comes in right around 119 and change. So, it depends what the euro does here, but I still think the euro or the sterling is the underperformer at this point. So.
Okay, fair enough. And you mentioned specifically, just before we go back to Etienne, you had euro pound pulled up earlier, specifically comparing euro versus pound. Is that a trade that you are also interested in potentially taking or trading on your own?
Yeah, actually, so I just got out of my euro sterling longs the other day because I played it off the triangle support here. I hadn't been buying it yet, but I believe so longer term. I think UK has got a lot of political issues that they're grappling with, and I think it's just a matter of time before we take out this 88 pence level and then move back up towards 89 and 90. So, and this is a very bullish consolidation in the lower end of its longer term range. You can see here, this is like the longer term range. So I think that we are going to be breaking back to the upside, is just letting it do it and letting it break through that triangle resistance.
Yep. Fair enough. Yeah, euro pound, certainly an interesting currency pair. Doesn't tend to move a whole lot, but also can be great. I actually love trading it from a mean reversion perspective myself over longer stretches of time. So it's a pair that I like. Etienne, what about you? Any other currency?
It is
pair?
one of my favorite.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, a little bit of delay there. Etienne, I wanted to go back to you in terms of currency pairs and just give a chance for both you guys to open things up a little bit here. In terms of other trades or charts that you're watching, is there anything that you're really liking right now, whether it's currencies, commodities, indices, anything that you're watching?
Yeah, Eurobond is good. I like to have a look a lot at Euro AUD. It's a bit more of so Euro Australian dollar. It's usually a bit more kind of less volatile, kind of more trending sometimes. So I like to usually can keep longer term position on it. So it definitely makes sense. I'm looking to maybe go long on the Euro AUD. You can see the trend is kind of really going well on this, and I see a pullback from the announcement. So I might want to try to go long and ride the upside after. Seems like the reaction is pretty much near over on this. So I want to maybe go long on this one and try to ride the trend back up on the upside.
Okay. Some momentum setups in Euro Aussie. Any other currency pairs, commodities, anything else you're watching?
At the moment, not a lot, no. But I'll have a quick look for sure.
Okay. Yeah. And Blake, I guess last chance in terms of, is there any other charts that you're watching, things that you're interested in? Open it up to you to wherever you want to go.
Well, Etienne, he brought up this dollar Mexican peso, and this is like something that in my personal accounts actually just got triggered, being on the long side. I've been waiting for this level since the beginning of the year. Ever since President Trump took office, we'd always discussed about how Mexico is going to have a much better and easier time over Canada working with the United States through tariffs. And so therefore, Mexico is going to be the beneficiary. But at this point in time, we've seen a move since the beginning of the year. And by the way, I still think that the Mexican peso continues to strengthen longer term. But after, this 10 to 13% drop since the beginning of the year, these are the levels, being that it's a major Fibonacci confluence. These are the levels that I actually want to be on the long side of the dollar mex. Been talking about it literally for the last month, waiting for this level today that we just hit. So I got triggered on a lot of my personal trades at these levels. You might be hearing dings and stuff. Those are trades going off of my own personal accounts. And I'm still trying to navigate through this 8-cap account, but apparently I used too much margin on that sterling trade. So that's my fault.
Fair enough. It happens. And it's part of the fun of it being a live trading battle. So I guess another thing I wanted to just mention here to listeners, people in the chat, someone mentioned, why are we getting such a big move essentially to a rate cut that's already been priced in? I just pulled up just economic projections overview. Long story short, a lot of the longer term expectations for Fed interest rate cuts have been revised lower, like basically essentially seeing more rate cuts in coming years than previously had been expected. So that is why we are seeing a little bit of today's rate cut was as expected, but it's all about the future. And so the rate cut projections that were released today are also moving expectations down for more rate cuts. So getting some big moves there. Very cool. So I think that's pretty much it, wrapped up all of our challenges here today. So I just wanted to really quick to the listeners, if you've enjoyed this commentary so far, do us a quick favor here. Behind the scenes, the Trading Battle is a up and coming show here on YouTube where we are bringing together talent from all over the world. If you are not already subscribed, take 1 second out of your day. It helps us out and it tells the YouTube algorithm you want more content like this. Subscribe to the Trading Battle here on YouTube. There's a link in there. I'm sorry. There's a button down below. Just hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. It helps out what they're trying to do here with this YouTube channel, which I think is great stuff. Again, it is also free value and it's coming your way more often. We did 4 giveaways for DNA funded challenges here today in the audience chat. If you got one, then congratulations. If you didn't, we'll do more of this stuff in the future, so you might catch some more giveaways then. Before we shut it down, I wanted to give a chance to each of you guys to give a chance for people to find where they can find you, essentially. So, Etienne, where can people hear more from you other than your incredible podcast, which you actually just had me on, which was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Disaster Trade is where everything is at. So Disaster Trade on YouTube. I'm on, of course, all social media. I do a lot of value there on the video format too. Podcast is something I do every single week. Interview traders around the world, share their tips, their lessons, and kind of their stories. It's kind of cool to sit down with them and chat. And I can definitely find me there anywhere at Desire to Trade.
Perfect. And fun fact about Etienne is if you follow him on socials, he's all over the world. He's a traveling trader. It's genuinely a really cool account to follow just for that reason alone. Blake, where can people find you if they want to learn more from your style of trading and hear more from you?
Oh, thanks, Nick. And Etienne, once again, it's been fun doing the trading battle with you. By the way, the S&P is on its lows of the session. You can follow me on Twitter or on X. I'm Pipzar. That was a given name. One of my clients gave it to me like 15 years ago, or whenever I jumped on Twitter at the time. But we broadcast every day. It's the Face Show. It's hosted by Dale Pinkert. I have Ryan Littlestone, K-Man, myself, Stelios Contigoulis, Steve Vulgaris, and Gregor Horvat. A lot of the Forex Analytics team, we're there every day giving our live analysis every single morning. And then after that, Dale Pinker brings in somebody, usually people like Luke Groman, Danielle DiMartino Booth, people that you'd see on CNBC for 5 minutes at a time. We bring them on for half an hour. They spend their time with us. We had Joseph Wang, the Fed guy. He was just on with us yesterday morning, getting us all prepared for the Fed. So you can find me there every day. It's a free show. It's at 8:30 a.m. Eastern every day, every trading day.
Very cool. Well, there you go, guys. And as we close out the show, let me just again remind everybody who enjoyed this commentary, if you enjoyed this coverage and this live trading event, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, do all the YouTube things to ensure that you don't miss the next one. The algorithm will detect if you start hitting the thumbs up button and subscribe. You guys know how that goes. It starts to find you and starts recommending this content. So definitely make sure to do that. And big shout out to the Trading Battle and our sponsor here today, DNA Funded, for making this whole event possible. And Blake, Etienne, thank you guys very much for joining me as well.
Thank you much.